is Billy Harrigan. We haven't seen much of him in 1996. Opted to stay with Super League. Wasn't required for the Optus Cup, but now here he is back in the international arena. Bobby Goulding kicks off for the Lions. Ridge out to Pongia. And Brent Todd, there will be no love lost early on between these two countries.
Well, Great Britain will come out pretty fired up, and look for them early on. And all my experience of playing against Great Britain, they always go with dirty tactics in the first 5-10 minutes just to upset the New Zealanders. But hopefully they will stick to their game plan, get nice quick play of the balls and get a rolling and a good kick and chase.
Dirty tactics or vigorous tactics?
Well, vigorous then. Maybe not dirty, vigorous and tough, but
spoken like a true front rower.
They're quite well known for maybe putting their hands in your face and doing all those little things that upset front rowers.
Matthew Ridge, nowhere for the fullback to go. Thrown into the turf by O'Connor. Also in there was Betts. 7 from halfway. Now it's Jones. He gets the kick in. Spruce is back there. But no, it bounces towards the wing of Alan Hunt and over the touchline on the far side. The scrum will pack down 20 metres infield, 20 metres out from the Great Britain line. With the feed into the first scrum, Goulding takes it out. This is Radlinski.
And this is what New Zealand want now. They want to crack at the Great Britain side. Get those big forwards taken in. Watch for a few big hits from the New Zealand forwards. They'll be fired up early on.
Andy Farrell. 15 from halfway. Good defence by New Zealand. Well, Dwayne Mann is sidelined. Your thoughts of the opening sets, Dwayne?
Yes, I'd have to agree with you about Great Britain's tactics, and it's very important that both Quinton Pongia and Stephen Kearney don't react to them. Their game is much better controlled when they keep their discipline intact.
Final tackle on the way. Goulding gets a kick in over the head of Hoppy and into touch. First bounce. So another scrum. 20 out from the New Zealand line this time.
An important factor to this game is who does control the kicking game. It's very, very difficult to kick out of your territory, but the way the Kiwis are going, it's quite difficult in this wind. Whoever can get their long-distance kicking game going will come out with great rewards.
And Bobby Goulding is definitely a danger man out there. The first markers from the Kiwis have got to chase out, try and put a bit of pressure on Bobby Goulding because he's a very dangerous little player. And let me tell you, he is a tough customer too, so anything the Kiwis throw at him, he will throw straight back in their face.
Plenty of Lions defenders in there on Tony Iro. 32 out from his own line. This time it's Kearney. He's been in wonderful form throughout 1996. Great series against Papua New Guinea. Sideru stealing 10 metres from dummy half. He makes it to halfway, and the first penalty of the match goes to New Zealand. Bit of push and shove in there as well.
Yes, that all come from Steve Kearney though. Just watch the way he plays the ball, nice and quick. Sideru gets from dummy half now. He's got good vision from dummy half, Sideru. He spots the markers are not there and sees they're inside the 10 and gets a good penalty.
Now it's Grant Young. And his third test match, man of the match in his debut against Papua New Guinea. 31 metres out from the Lions line. Now it's Pongia. He had to stop to take that ball, lost some momentum. Kearney will play it. And there he waits for the dummy half.
This is a real physical test for the Kiwis because the games against Papua New Guinea have been quite easy, so this will be real physical.
Ridge injecting himself on the short side, inside the Lions red zone, 19 metres out. Now it's Young taking them on. 3 Lions defenders in there to put him to ground. 0-0 the score, the first test. Big line-up out through the backs for New Zealand. Now it's Jones, a double round with Mamu. He throws to dummy, gets it over to John Timu. Timu in a bit of space. Looked to pass. They wrapped him up just in time. Good tackle, Andy Farrell. There's the bomb. Who wants it? Off the uprights. Picked up in goal by Sullivan. But there was a knock on, and so Great Britain will get the handover, but good early pressure by the Kiwis.
Yes, the CRC replay shows Stacey Jones there, puts in a great kick. Really, the Great Britain players all stood around and watched it. Lucky not to get a try there, New Zealand.
10 out from their own line. Great Britain, hectic pace so far in this match as Farrell leads by example.
One thing about the Great Britain forwards, that they're all renowned for being good ball-playing forwards. They'll all look to offload, and if guys like Bobby Gordy in the half start backing up, they could cause the Kiwis some problems.
Betts, taken by Iro. Now it's Goulding. Ridge has to hurry back, and in the end he has to pick the ball up. Got away from one, Matthew Ridge. He'll play it on the 20-metre mark. Good kick by Great Britain, forcing the Kiwis back.
And also a good chase by the Great Britain side as well. And really, your kick's non-existent if your chase is not there. That was a great chase. There were 7 or 8 players there, so that just shows how enthusiastic they are tonight.
Grant Young on the 30-metre mark. The night started well for New Zealand with the junior Kiwis beating the junior Lions by 35 to 14 after they led 11 points to 8 at half-time. So the junior Kiwis ran away with it in the second 40. Now it's Iro ranging wide. This is Barnett up over halfway. Again, a great tackle around the legs. Sculthorpe was the tackler. Now it's Jones. Inside it goes to Ridge. Ridge pops it out the back door. It's been touched by Great Britain. Back to one. Jones. Stacey Jones away from one. Tried to get it on the inside. Towed ahead by Kearney, but the ball was forward. And Kearney will touch it down, but no try. Well, Jones chanced his arm. It went forward.
Yes, good little play though. The Kiwis are keeping the ball alive. And this man here, Stacey Jones, if he gets into a gap, he's very dangerous because he's got so many options. The kick and chase, a good little offload, but that one just not working for him.
I wonder if he realised that the tackle count had started again. Goulding. Gaston Harris has a great step. Can't get away from Nambu this time. Radlinski. Now out to Farrell. Farrell got rid of Tyron Smith, who tried the shoulder charge. It didn't come off.
And already the Kiwis putting a lot of sting in their tackles, aren't they? That's what they need to do. They've got to muscle up and really stop Great Britain from getting a roll-off, because the Great Britain forwards hit the advantage line very well.
Now it's Betts. Ranging wide, almost to halfway. Powell at dummy half. Darryl Powell back to Betts. Betts and Powell, the two most experienced Great Britain lines. Powell in his 29th test. Betts in his 28th. There's a midfield bomb by Goulding. Ridge is back there waiting for it. Takes the tackle right in front of his uprights. Thrown into the turf by Powell. Hoppy.
Good work from Sean Hoppy there on that kick. Just see how he stood in front of Matthew Ridge, just to give him that little bit of protection. When your team is working together, it's a sign of a good side.
Richie Blackmore, taken by Cunningham. Now it's Young. Great contest so far, especially up front. 0-0 the score. Eru waits for it at dummy half. They go to the blind. Now it's Tyron Smith. Big night for the youngster. Signed for the North Queensland Cowboys. Nabu gets the kick in. Spruce from the Bradford Bulls in his 4th test match. Anthony Sullivan. Territory so far going New Zealand's way, 62 to 38. The possession 52%, New Zealand 48 to Great Britain. Nothing much in it. Which will be the first side to crack the inside pass, doesn't come off. Stacey Jones cleans it up on the halfway mark for New Zealand.
And that is exactly what the Kiwis wanted, a mistake on the 4th tackle in their own half. Let's have a look on the CRC replay. Nice little double round, but just taking his eye off the ball. Good defence from Tony Iro.
Yes, this defence very strong. The players numbering up, not being sucked in by any dummies.
And a good run by Richard Barnett. Looking for quick yards from dummy half, and that is a penalty. They were not marking straight on. He was side on, the tackler.
Yes, the CRC replay say great playing the ball from Richard Barnett. He's so dangerous on broken play, but that quick play of the ball, once again, Sidiru looking from dummy half, spotting it, getting a penalty.
And the first shot at goal coming up for Matthew Ridge. Terry O'Connor penalised for the infringement. O'Connor from the Wigan club, only his second test match for Great Britain. A hectic pace as we look at the boys who haven't had a taste of it yet. Vangana, Wiki, Ellis and the new man, Logan Swan on the bench.
And what a bench it is, eh? A lot of class there.
Matthew Rich, 123 points. He needs 10 points tonight to break the New Zealand record for the most number of points. It's there! New Zealand are off to a start on the scoreboard. The Kiwis 2, the Lions 0. Great to have you with us tonight on 2 Sports Action. Our coverage also on B-Sky B in Europe and Foxtel across Australia. Nice to have you with us. Beautiful night in Auckland. Great conditions. And from what we can see or work out so far, it looks like being a pretty good opener to the 3 Test series. Here's O'Connor. Good strong run. He's 5 from halfway.
And that's good work from the Great Britain side. Already 40 metres from their try line, worked it out well. Their forwards are working together well, just hitting the advantage line. Nothing fancy at the moment. I think after about another 5 or so minutes, I think you'll see they might try and pop a few balls. Dennis Betts looking very dangerous on the blind side.
Looking at the tackles made stat there, Great Britain have had to make 47 to 39 by New Zealand. 10 metres inside the Kiwis territory. Final tackle, Bobby Goulding going for the touchline and finding it. Good kick by the Great Britain halfback. Finds touch about 5 metres out from the New Zealand line.
Yes, he's a very dangerous player, Bobby Goulding. Really, they should have a marker chasing him, putting a lot more pressure on him, because he'll do that all day. When you're driving backwards like that, it's very tough to work it out.
That's great percentages with the wind behind Great Britain's back. Certainly putting these kicks into the corners or else finding touch. Certainly keep them in this game.
The Lions now looking to force a mistake on New Zealand. Hoppy has 3 defenders on top of him, right in front of the uprights, inside his red zone.
This is where the New Zealand forwards, especially the front rows, Grant Young and co, have got to get in there and work hard, take that ball out, because this is where all the hard yards are done. Great Britain are moving up very quick off the line, aren't they?
Timu floating with that far touchline, managing to stay in the field of play. After a sloppy pass, previous play the ball, now it's Young. Pongia to Kearney, wide of the ruck, straight into his Warriors teammate Betts. Sculthorpe in there also, along with Yeston Harris. Lost ball. The referee looking to the touch judges for an indication. They're going to pack a scrum down. 5 metres inside New Zealand territory.
Well, let's just have a look on the CRC replay there. Steve Kearney's trying to get up for the play of the ball now. He was being held down, but I think that's pretty fair. He lost it. A good call from Bill Harrigan.
Goulding, Harris, now it's Powell, Sullivan. Handling errors, 2 to New Zealand, 1 to Great Britain. Early days yet. Ball control the key here tonight. And no real excuses for drop balls. Now it is Goulding allowed to run across the face of the ruck. He picks up Dennis Betts. He gets one out the back door, back to Goulding, to the front row board, Brent. The crowd thought it was forward play on as a call to Powell. Now it's Sullivan trying to get on the inside, trying to find some gaps. They're not there.
Well, they probably thought it was forward because it was forward. It was a good couple of feet.
Oh, big defence, and the ball rockets out of their grasp. And a chance out wide for the Kiwis, but Iro goes on his own. Now he links up with Jones stepping on the inside. For a moment it looked like New Zealand had numbers, but the Lions cover defence got across there. Pongia, the Canberra Raider, is 11 metres from halfway.
And that was a great hit there from Quinton Ponga and also his front row partner. And they are paving the way, really getting into the tough stuff out there.
Namu, long ball out to Timu, and the former All Black is tackled on the halfway mark. Iro, inside pass to Ridge. They've left it on the ground. They'll play the knock-on. Looked to be a planned move using the inside pass.
Yes, nice little face pass across the ruck here. You see Tony Iro. He is very dangerous, a very, very good ball player. Matthew just pushing it there on the third tackle and couldn't regather, Gene.
Alan Hunt from the St Helens club.
Well, both teams have stated this week that they do want to play entertaining football, and as we've seen, willing to push the passes.
Radlinski. The gap soon closed. Sideru got across there, so did Ridge. Now, this is Paul Broadbent. Good, strong run by the front rower. Working themselves into very good field position now. The Great Britain lines are down by 2 points to nil. Goulding the blind. Inside to Sullivan. Sullivan keeping it alive. Back to Cunningham. To Sculthorpe. And Sculthorpe is tackled. Real pressure on the New Zealand defensive line now. The Lions want to shift it wide. Now it's Harris having a run on his own. There's no way through there. Final tackle coming up. Betts at dummy half. Betts with the kick in behind the line. It came off a New Zealander picked up by the Lions. About the back door to nobody. They have to go back to clean up. Powell. Darryl Powell. Got it back to the support. Spruce from fullback. Pops it up and the Kiwis come away with it.
Great football from both sides. Desperation defence from the Kiwis and just exciting play from Great Britain. Let's have a look at that little passage again on the CRC replay. Great Britain desperate there on the last tackle, flinging it out, just didn't come off for them.
Now there's a penalty to New Zealand, and this will slow things down a little bit. Sets of 6, they've both completed 5 apiece. As New Zealand take a breather, they lead by 2-0. Namu kicking for the grandstand touch at Ericsson Stadium.
On the previous occasion, Dennis Betts taking the chance on his own to have a kick. Bobby Goulding a little bit out of position, a little bit wide to put himself in play to launch a bomb.
So the Kiwis back inside Lions territory. Jones picks up Pongia. Namu shows it to Smith, gives it to Iro. Back to Barnett. Back in field. Taken by Harrison over the top was Powell. Kearney bounced out of one, still looking to offload, looking for the support. It didn't arrive. Ridge, he steals another 10 metres, almost in front of the uprights. 1 tackle remaining. 2-0, the Kiwis over the lines. Back to Namu, kicking, and it's too big. 2 points to 0. Great Britain having to work it out of their own 20.
And really hanging on in defence, aren't they? New Zealand throwing everything at them. Great hit again from Grant Young, the big front rower. Having a tremendous game out there in the forwards. But Great Britain just able to escape that onslaught from New Zealand and looking so dangerous.
Betts to halfway. Good strong run. Missed tackles. Great Britain have fallen off 4 compared to New Zealand's 1. Kieran Cunningham from St Helens has also represented Wales. His 3rd test. Now it's Goulding. Midfield bomb. The chasers come down on Ridge. He takes it brilliantly. 10 out from his own line.
Wow, that was a sound catch from Matthew Ridge. Let's have a look on the CRC replay there. 3 or 4 Great Britain players pounding down on him, but he is as solid as ever.
Well, that's great stuff by Matthew. He is a fullback that likes to play up in the line on defence, and on that time, only the previous 2 tackles, he was right up there making them, and he got himself back in position to take that ball.
Yes, he's been in fine form for Manly and New Zealand. Now it's Namu. Iro, wide. Blackmore, bit of room to move. Inside to Namu, up over halfway. Now it's Jones. They've run out of support. But a few holes appearing in the Great Britain defensive line on that occasion. 10 inside the Lions territory. Ridge turns it on the inside to Timu. Timu allowed to pass it. No. Great Britain. The referee called held. Timu went on with it. He's not happy about it.
Well, obviously John didn't hear the referee there. You see him taking the ball up. Now, is he held? Well, I'd question whether he is, but he obviously didn't hear the ref. He's gone on with the play. It's a frustrating time, that.
Here are the players from the Kiwi bench warming up under Super League international rules. You can name 17 players who make 6 changes. Cunningham, a dummy half. Now it's Broadbent, and the front rower gets it out the back door. It was touched by New Zealand. The tackle count resumes, and Farrell put the foot on the accelerator, tried to charge through the gap, but Timu had him around the legs. Great opportunity for the Lions now. Here's Powell. Picks up Bradlinski, and the young Wigan player is 10 metres out from the New Zealand line. They're down by 2 at the moment, the Lions. Harris having a dart on his own. Goulding wants it to the blind. Picks up Daryl Powell. Good defence by Kearney, and over the top was Ridge. Just a metre out. Sculthorpe to Goulding. Kicking across field. Hunt is there. He takes it brilliantly. A try to Great Britain. Alan Hunt has snatched the ball out of the grasp of Richard Barnett. And the Lions are in front in the first test. They lead by 4 points to 2.
Well, we said that James Goulding was the danger man on the kick. Just have a look at this one. He places it beautifully. And Alan Hunt was waiting out there. I thought Richie Barnett had it, but Alan Hunt flew through the air and got it. What Great Britain are doing is they're moving New Zealand from one side of the field to the other. It's catching him out wide. Alan Hunt did that. Great kick from Goulding.
Yes, the bomb will play an important part there. We see Daryl Powell, physical player. Bobby Goulding, a great exponent of the bomb, and we'll see plenty of this. It's been used to a treat in the past where they bomb to the corners. Richie Barnett normally safe under this, but yeah, Alan Hunt really going up and contesting it.
Alan Hunt from the St Helens club. They won the championship in '96. So a bit of soul searching going on in the New Zealand in-goal area. They didn't find themselves behind on the scoreboard against Papua New Guinea.
And I'm sure they won't be panicking, the New Zealand side, because really Great Britain, the only way they can break their line is with the kick. Their defence has been very, very good out there.
That's the distance and the angle for Bobby Goulding. He's been in great goal-kicking form on this tour. 48 points in the last 2 matches. The tests against Papua New Guinea and Fiji. To 2, so Great Britain lead New Zealand by 6 points to 2. Converted by Bobby Goulding, and it is Goulding with the restart. Ridge. Pongia, taken by his opposite number, Terry O'Connor.
And I'm sure the Kiwis won't be panicking now. They would have just been told to stick to their game plan, work it out, get a good go forward, and a good kick and chase, put Great Britain down near their own line. But this man here is very dangerous here. Tony Iro always looks to offload, just needs some support.
Now it's Kearney. Pongia.
Both sides looking very good on attack, and great yards from the Kiwis, rucking it out of their own quarter.
15 minutes remaining in the first half. Outside him, he couldn't get the pass away, and that'll be the handover.
Yeah, a bit of bad communication between the Kiwis there, not kicking on the last tackle. Really should be looking for that little kick in the end goal.
Possession and territory. Well, it's going Great Britain's way.
And I guess we can't be fooled by Bobby Goulding's supposed injuries, he's having a blinder. He came up with the play that put Matthew Ridge out of position to kick that ball.
Let's hope that Goulding is okay in back play. Certainly one of the stars of this series.
Well, let's hope that he's not okay.
I'm sure the fans in Great Britain will want to see more of his skills out there.
Yeah, he's a dangerous player. Tough little customer, isn't he?
And he's typical in the mould of these British halfbacks, certainly like Andy Gregory and his predecessors. Very stocky, very strong.
Harris gets the kick into the arms of Barnett. He got a good bounce, 10 out from his own line. He beat a couple of chasers. Good return of the football. Now it's Jones. Hoppy. Kearney. One out stuff.
This is where maybe the wingers, the Kiwi wingers, have to come in and get a little bit more involved, the back rowers, because the defence is dropping off a little bit in this last 10 minutes, and they'll make good yardage.
Barnett on the angle run. The Lions defence read it well. Timu has it now. He plays it 5 inside Great Britain territory. 6 points to 2, and Young has put it down. The knock on by New Zealand.
Well, that's exactly what Great Britain wanted. The CRC replay shows that Grant Young just couldn't control it. And right on halfway, Great Britain on attack.
Handling errors going New Zealand's way, 4-2. They're going against New Zealand, in fact. Now it's Great Britain. Spruce up from fullback. That try has really given Great Britain plenty of confidence.
Yeah, you see them in the tackles. They're fighting to get up and get that quick play of the ball, really pushing for the penalty. New Zealand have to be careful they don't lie on too long, but Great Britain are trying to slow New Zealand down as well, so it's got to work both ways.
Harris to Betts. Crossfield taken by Iro. Wrestled into the turf. Sculthorpe at dummy half. Now it's Broadbent to Powell. Did well to control that pass. It wasn't a good one. Sullivan at dummy half, having a run on his own. Crunch there by Pongia. Fifth tackle. Goulding shot at a one-pointer. It's a waved away. Not a bad option. And he knows he missed a golden opportunity there.
Yes, he had no pressure on him whatsoever. Probably could have gone another 5 or so yards, but just didn't connect.
So the scoreline remains 6 points to 2, and Young is now driven back. He pops it out the back to Hoppy.
Yeah, that was great defence there from the Great Britain forwards. They'll be trying to show some authority out there now. They're a little bit fired up in this last 10 minutes going into half-time. Very important time of the game.
Smith can't get away from Radlinski, and the try scorer, Alan Hunt. Iro to the halfway mark. Kearney got it inside, picked up by Betts. Good defence by the Lions, forcing the errors down on the Kiwi attackers.
Well, Stephen Kearney, they're just looking to offload, but Great Britain know that every time he takes the ball up, he tries to offload. So they're sort of slipping around in those passing lanes. Dennis Betts was able to come up with this one. Steve Kearney needs backup.
And it's important now that the Kiwis hold the Lions out, getting towards half-time in the match. 4 points the difference, and the Lions in good field position again. Cunningham waits for it a dummy half. There's a replacement on there, Chris Joint. Chris Joint from St Helens in his 10th test for Great Britain.
Yes, Greg, Chris Joint has come on for Terry O'Connor.
Still the final tackle. There's the bomb by Farrell, not a bad one. Again, pressure on Barnett. This time he takes it in goal. Now the referee is saying that he carried it across the try line, so it'll be a goal-mouth dropout.
Well, that's a big call from Bill Harrigan. Obviously got some help from his touches. Let's have a look on the CRC replay now. Well, that's a great call from Billy Harrigan, because he left in the field of play.
But a good take under pressure by Barnett. Another look at it on the CRC replay. He's in the field of play when he leaps for it, carries the ball across the try line, so it's a goal-mouth dropout. And Matthew Ridge just showing the football to Billy Harrigan. So it's 6 points to 2. Lions over the Kiwis. Ball.
Greg, I've been very impressed with referee Bill Harrigan. I don't know what he's been doing lately or how many games he's had, but these teams are making yards because Harrigan is keeping a good 10 metres on both sides.
I'll tell you what he has been doing. He hasn't had a haircut for a while. When I was playing, he used to have short hair.
It is 25 metres out from the Kiwi line. And a great run by Cunningham. Kieran Cunningham got rid of a couple of the Kiwi defenders. Can the New Zealand defence hold the Lions out close to half-time? Back inside to Goulding. Radlinski. Radlinski throws to dummy. To Dennis Betts. He got it down. Try to the Lions. Dennis Betts. To 2. The Lions are roaring at Ericsson.
Yes, put this one down to James Goulding, though. Just have a look at Bobby Goulding. James I'll play with. Now just watch Bobby Goulding. He skirts around for the second time. He's been a real little menace in there, causing the Kiwis so many problems. And this guy here, well, this is his home ground. He knows it so well. He'd be that happy to score a try. But there he is, Bobby. Skirts around. Great little player and really got the Kiwis defence on the back foot. Dennis Betts has had a fine game out there in the first half. Been backing out well. He's having a tremendous game.
Yeah, started earlier on with a great run out of dummy half, but then we see Chris Radlinski turning the ball inside to Dennis Betts. Good power, stays alive. Great try.
Dennis Betts, 28th Test match for Great Britain. Will be returning to the Warriors in '97. Goulding, 1 from 1 so far. Struck it well, but this time he has pushed it wide. Yes, out to the right, no goal. So the scoreline remains 10 points to 2. Great Britain over New Zealand. Brent Totter was such an important time for the New Zealanders just before half-time to try and hold the Lions out.
Well, it is a very important time, that 10 minutes before half-time and also the first 10 after half-time. So it's a bit sad for New Zealand, but their defence has been so strong. I said that little halfback, Bobby Goulding, he's having a tremendous game.
Goulding kicks off. Ridge out to Joe Vangana. So replacement on for New Zealand now. 15, Joe Vangana, his 3rd Test appearance. Pongia.
Yes, Grant Young is off and Joe Vangana on.
So Grant Young deserves a bit of a spell there. He dropped that pass earlier on, which could be put down to fatigue. Frank Endicott working the interchange now.
Yeah, Joe Vangana is an impact player too. He'll be very important this last 5 minutes because he'll take 2 or 3 defenders in with him, can offload a ball and maybe create some holes out wide. But looks as though Great Britain just slowly starting to get on top of New Zealand in the forwards. This man here, though, Quinton Pongia, has been working very, very hard for the New Zealand side.
Now it's Namu. Bobby Goulding chasing hard. Matthew Ridge got the kick in on the left foot. Not a bad kick either. Good bounce over on the far side. But Alan Hunt picks it up. 10 out from his own line. Taken by Vangana and also Blackmore. Spruce. Yes, it had too many opportunities. Fine attacking player, give it a bit of room to move. Farrell, hasn't he had a good first half as well, the young captain?
The Great Britain forwards are angling in behind the markers in the ruck there. You see another great young run from their hooker. But there are a few gaps right in behind the ruck. You see the 2 markers on the Kiwis in front. They're running those angles in behind, those steps, and there goes Dennis Betts again. They know there's a few gaps there.
That's right, Brett. The Kiwis, whilst they have a very strong and physical defence, they're often getting left on the ground. They must get up first before the dummy half has a chance to run.
Both teams have had to work pretty hard in this opening 40. as Ruben Wiki gets ready to come on and replace Tyron Smith. Tackles made. New Zealand have had to make 113 compared to Great Britain's 115. Nothing much in that. Ridge moved to the sideline for something. He's back on the field to play.
Yes, he'll be getting a few instructions from Frank, but I think Ruben Wiki is a great player to bring on because he is so solid in defence.
Namu dummy half. Ruben Wiki. Ball was touched by Great Britain, but he knocked it on, so the scrum will pack down.
Yeah, Quinton Pongia taking the ball up strong, looking to bump and turn, and the ball just getting knocked out of Sidira's hands.
Timu. 10 from halfway. Hoppy. Now it's Namu. Looking for runners. He finds Jones. The halfback has to cut back in field. He's 5 from halfway. Looking at Tyron Smith now with the ice pack on his left knee.
What's the news down there, Dwayne, on his leg?
Well, it doesn't look too good. He's got a bit of ice on it, and you know, it could be just a bit of trouble around the tendons there. I didn't know too much about those knees, Toddy.
Have you got any legs?
I didn't even know I had a hamstring, mate.
Join the club.
Final tackle on the way.
And I hope it's not serious for Tyron because he's had a fine first half.
Rich kicking for the corner. And finding touch. Half a metre from the try line. So the scrum will pack down 10 metres out from the line's try line and 20 metres in.
Yes, that's a great kick from Matthew Ridge there. Bit of pressure put on from Bobby Goulding, but Matthew placed that one, and that's what they've got to do. Force Great Britain right back down that end.
Ridge in his 20th test match. Big shove by the New Zealanders, but Goulding comes away with it for the Lions. 10 points to 2. Chris Joint plays it. Now this is Paul Broadbent from the Sheffield Eagles club. No doubt about it, the Lions have done their homework on the New Zealand side, and I guess this man here has been able to tell Coach Phil Larder quite a bit about him. Dennis Betts playing against many of his Warriors teammates. Ridge has to turn, picking up on the 20-metre mark. New Zealand end of the field.
Yeah, I'm sure Dennis Betts will be loving it out there. Like playing in front of his home crowd too, I suppose, because most of the fans here would be Warriors fans.
Well, one of the key things they're doing is putting pressure on Matthew Ridge's kicking game. And even though he is getting the ball away on a few occasions, there is great pressure from Bobby Goulding.
Ruben Wiki, another one of the impact players on the bench. Now it's Pongia. Angle run across the face of the run. The halfway mark. Joe Vangana hasn't made the sort of impact he made against Papua New Guinea. The Lions forward back certainly much better on defence and attack than the Kumals. Now it's Iro showing the ball, trying to get the hands free. He has to take the tackle. Hunt and Radlinski read it pretty well. The 20-metre mark now. Namu with the step. Namu with the kick. Hoppy with the chase. Sullivan leaves it behind, and it's been kicked dead by Powell. What's the call? It's a goal mouth dropout.
Yes, nice little kick from Gene Namu. That's some pressure put on. Obviously the communication as well, because Sean Hoppy knew exactly what was happening there. Just lucky to get away with that, Great Britain.
Well, time is up in the first half. And Bill Harrigan signals that is half-time in the first test in the Lion Red 3-test series. 2 tries to none. The Great Britain Lions lead at the break by 10 points to 2. Done. So, Brent Todd, what do you reckon about the second 40? Still a long way to go.
Well, there still is. New Zealand are in with a big show. It's going to be tough because Great Britain, they're going to come out very confident. But that first 10 minutes is going to be very important for the New Zealand side. We'll know if they're going to win the game because they should be fired up. I think Joe Bargana, he should really stay on there for a bit longer because he is an impact player, and they really need to dominate the forwards. It's going to be a close game. Don't write the Kiwis off yet. They will come back from this.
Stay with us on 2 Sports Action. We'll take a short break and then we'll come. And now it's the Lions running back out onto Ericsson Stadium. Brent Todd, the message from Frank Endicott should have been what?
Well, I'm just saying that they've got to be the first ones to score in this next 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sure he's just told them that they've got to do those little things right. Their ball security has been pretty well. Their defence has been strong, but they've got to support each other on those kicks. When they're kicking down to Matthew Ridge, putting up those bombs, they've got to get in there and support the players who are sort of hanging there to take those high bombs.
8 points the difference now. Let's go sideline to 2 Sports Action's Brendan Telfer and Dwayne Mann.
Well, thank you, Clarkie. Well, at half-time, a lot of discussion here about where the Kiwis are going to try and pull this match, and I suspect, Dwayne, that Frank Endicott here must be really worried about the fact that the Kiwis just don't seem to be penetrating this Great Britain defence tonight.
Well, they haven't enjoyed the most of the field position where the Great Britain have, and they've come up trumps with 2 great tries. But I guess, the Kiwis just need to finish off those last couple of passes.
Well, I've just been talking to a couple of the Kiwis players and reserves have been in the changing shed, and Frank Endicott is preaching calmness at half-time here, saying, look, we had a couple of decisions that went against us in that first half. Our opportunities will come. Stay calm. What do you make of that, Dwayne?
Well, they have to. They just have to stay focused. They're still well in this game. They're not too far behind on the scoreboard.
Still a long way to go.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? 40 minutes is a long time in football, isn't it? And if the Kiwis get a bit of a sniff here, the crowd will go absolutely berserk. They'll have the big crowd behind them. That can really lift you as a player.
Fine performance by Billy Harrigan in the first half. Frank Endicott saying a couple of decisions going against the New Zealanders. But all in all, he's kept them 2 teams apart. And Ridge kicks off, gets things underway. Now this is Chris Joint, 19 metres out from his own line. Plenty of New Zealand defence in there early on. They'll need to keep their line intact now.
Yeah, you'll find that the New Zealand side will be very, very strong early on in this first 10 minutes. Maybe trying for a little upset, but one thing that I've noticed about the Kiwis they're not doing is those first markers, they're not chasing out on James Goulding. Now, we all know the kick's coming now on Bobby Goulding. Here it is. Look, he's got all the time in the world for Bobby to put the kick in.
And he finds touch. So a good, steady start to the second half by the Great Britain Lions. And Goulding in his 12th test for Great Britain, playing a starring role, dictating terms out there.
Yes, Greg, the word from the Great Britain changing room. Phil Larder very happy with his side, but saying the game is far from over. He wants his players to tighten up on the inside balls. He believes the Kiwis will try to take them on up the middle of the ruck.
Jones waits for the dummy half. Ruben Wiki.
You must remember with this Great Britain side, it's been a very, very long season for them because coming off their winter and then going into a Super League summer, so that a lot of these guys may have played up to 60 games on the trot, so I just wonder how long they last. Maybe that will pay.
Well, they had to make 140 tackles in that first half compared to New Zealand's 123. Kearney, 5 from halfway. Now it's Ridge. He got the kick in. There were chasers bearing down on him again. Spruce picks it up in goal.
Yes, once again, Bobby Goulding just chasing out, just sprinting out on Matthew Ridge, just trying to put some pressure on. But that's a good chase from the Kiwi side.
Alan Hunt, one of the try scorers of the first half. Paul Sculthorpe. The crowd getting behind this New Zealand side. Farrell. Billy Harrigan is sending one of the New Zealanders to the blood bin. It's Quentin Pongier, I think.
Grant Young has gone on for Quinton Pongia for the moment.
Now it's Betts. Betts got through some pretty ordinary defence. Taken from behind by Joe Vangana. Good run by Betts, 10 from halfway. Goulding. He makes it to the halfway line.
Yes, Dennis Betts there ranging out wide. Some poor defence from Ruben Wiki and Richie Blackmore.
Now it's Barnett. So plenty of work for the New Zealanders to do in this set. Grant Young is on the 30-metre mark. Eru is waiting for it. Now it's Namu. Out to Wiki. Such a strong player, Wiki. Plenty of upper body strength. Iro, short ball. Blackmore. Now it's Hoppy. Forced to come back in field. Couldn't get away from Broadbent. The front row did well to get across there and tackle the winger. Now it's Blackmore getting the fend, and now the pass. Kearney pops it inside. It's been touched by a line. No, it was knocked on. So some scrappy play there as the New Zealanders try to force the pass on the short side.
And once again, we see Steve Kearney looking to offload, but no one really backing him up. Must be getting pretty frustrated out there because he always shows the ball, Stephen, and looks for players to run off him.
Goulding puts it in, takes it out. Harris. Taken by Timo underneath. Over the top was Blackmore.
Great Britain just trying to use the sidelines well. They spread the ball from one side to the other, trying to move the big Kiwi forwards around. Here we go again, out wide.
It's Farrell. Kearney underneath. Eru over the top. Well, they're full of running the Great Britain forward pack.
Yes, they just keep wrapping the same way. It makes it very easy because everybody knows what's happening. They look for that little call from Goulding to tell them which way they're going to go on the third or fourth tackle.
Joint plays it. Goulding. Rubber kick and finds touch. Hoppy couldn't do much with that kick. With plenty of power behind the grubber kick, finding touch.
Yes, Goulding just looking down the blind side there, and the defence not moving up on him. Nice tackle from Steve Kearney. He's a tough customer though, Goulding. He'll get up from that.
10 points to 2. Great Britain over New Zealand. First of 3 tests. We're at Palmerston North next Friday night, New Zealand time. Ridge looking for a bit of urgency.
Yes, Greg, it's very important that the Kiwis complete this set of 6 and find themselves either at the end of a good kick or else they must make these yards and penetrate some holes.
Eru picks up 8 or 9 metres out of dummy half. Sculthorpe and also Cunningham read it pretty well. Now it's Iro. Dummies. Gets it out to Barnett. Nowhere for him to go. He has to take the tackle a couple of metres inside Great Britain territory. Now here's Bobby Goulding charging out again, putting the pressure on the kickers. Namu gets it in, and it is Hunt that picks it up. 10 out from his own line. The chasers are there. And the CRC replay. Look at Goulding charging through there. He's been doing it all night, and it's been very effective. And now the Kiwis have been penalised for stripping the ball. And Farrell kicks for touch. So they're a couple of metres inside New Zealand territory.
Well, Great Britain playing a very professional game now. They're just hitting it up, nothing fancy. Trying to milk the odd penalty. They're getting away with it too. They don't have to play catch-up football. New Zealand do. They're the ones who are going to push the pass.
Short ball to Betts, charging onto it. The gap soon closed though. But again, it's the Great Britain Lions in pretty good field position.
I'm just wondering whether we'll see Bobby Goulding line up for another field goal attempt.
Another penalty goes to Great Britain. Maybe it'll be a shot at goal. Goulding looks to his skipper. Grant Young looks to be the man penalised.
Yes, on the third tackle. Great tackle from Young, but went on with it. You see the Great Britain front row trying to get up to play the ball.
Well, that's a real shame for Grant Young. He's had a wow of the series against PNG, and he's come out and started this game strong. He really is a player in the mould the Kiwis need.
And now it's Bobby Goulding. A little over 20 metres out and about 12 metres in from touch. Well within his kicking range. There's been a lot of talk about the Great Britain tourists having trouble adapting to the balls used down here in New Zealand. Points to 2, trying to stretch the lead to 10 points. It's there, just stuck in. Great Britain 12, New Zealand 2. So another restart by the Lions. And Vangana.
One thing New Zealand have to look for now is those quick play the balls. Maybe try and get that penalty.
Both sides have had to do about the same amount of tackling, 165 to 163. But it's the Lions with the advantage on the scoreboard. They lead by 10.
One thing Great Britain are also doing is playing a compressed defence. Really, they're snuffing New Zealand out around the middle, so it's got to be on out wide.
Now it's Hoppy cutting back infield, but the cover got across there. Darryl Powell wrapped him up, ball and all. Namu out to Ridge. Ridge, there's the kick. No real pressure on Alan Hunt, though. And he'll be tackled about 12 out from his own line, right in front of the uprights. It is here that the Kiwis need to force the mistake. Paul Sculthorpe runs out of dummy half. The skipper. Did he lose the ball in there? No one picked it up. Chris Joint. Goulding. Now it's Betts, and they put it through the hands. Harris. You haven't seen much of Yeston Harris. The program describes him as being the new Welsh wizard, taking over from Jonathan Davis. Up over halfway they go. That's the front rower, Paul Broadbent, the Sheffield Eagle. Now Goulding is there. He doesn't have the same amount of pressure on him that the Kiwi kickers have. And Matthew Ridge will have a bit of work to do to get out of his own in-goal area. He does it. He ran into Darryl Powell there and may have copped a knock. Yes, Ridge is down in back play.
Yes, he ran right into the knee. Just have a look at Matthew Ridge. A little bit of pressure put on. 3 Great Britain players coming in on him. Now just watch where his head hits. Well, maybe it was in his back. Tough customer though, Matthew. He will get up from that.
Penalty to New Zealand. Holding down in the tackle. So Harrigan has been very consistent tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you work hard for the play the ball and players are lying over you, Harrigan will give you the penalty. You see Grant Young on the CRC replay there, working hard.
Penalties going New Zealand's way, 4-3. They're playing too much of their football inside their own half. Now it's Kearney.
That is a sign of relief for the Kiwis to get that penalty. Their heads have been down, and it is a bit quiet here on the sideline.
Blackmore. Very committed defence by the Lions. Young, out of one. Looking to get the pass away. Got it away to Eru. To Temu. John Temu. 39 metres out from the line. Still a couple of tackles remaining as Rich calls for the quick play the ball. Now it's Stacey Jones kicking him behind the line, straight into the arms of Bobby Goulding. Wow,
Bobby Goulding. He read that one so well, didn't he? Stacey looking for the little chip kick because he's got a great little option in there, Stacey Jones. Let's have a look at the CRC replay. Tries to get it past, but you do not have to get out of a player's road if he runs into you. And Bobby Goulding read it well.
Terry O'Connor is on, and Paul Broadbent off for Great Britain, and Quentin Pongia about to go back on for the Kiwis.
And now it's the lines. Through Farrell to Betts. Inside pass to Powell. "29 metres out from the line. They go the short side. Broadbent got it over to Sullivan. Sullivan taken. 10 out from the line. Now it's Goulding, the playmaker, kicking across the line of work for them in the first half. And Barnett has it with a bit of room to move. He's got Tony Oro on the inside. It's Barnett trying to get past Bruce. He does it. Can't get away from Hunt. The Great Britain line scrambling back onside. Now it's Oro. Long ball to Timu. Timu, one-on-one. Taken 5 metres out. They want the quick play the ball. Ridge at dummy half. Now it goes to Jones. Jones, Hoppy, turning, trying to get through the tackle of Chris Joynt and also Bobby Goulding. Right in front of the uprights. Eru. The Kiwis looking for their first try. Namu. Kearney. What a tackle by Powell. Ball and all. Harris was in there underneath. They keep working to the blind. There's a kick, and behind the line it beats everybody. Into touch, in goal. The Lions survive the onslaught. They continue to lead by 12 points to 2.
Well, great defence from the Lions there. So much pressure put on them, but Jim Blakemore just couldn't connect.
And while all that was happening, Stuart Spruce is badly injured. He's really in naughty land at the moment. He's leaving the field, and coming on is number 16.
Keith Senior from the
Keith
Sheffield
Senior.
Eagles. So Spruce in the blood bin.
Well, this is where New Zealand really need a big hit, try and upset the ball, try and knock the ball out of Great Britain.
Now it's Farrell just settling things down. Sculthorpe ducked under a high shot. And the referee is going to penalise the New Zealanders now. There was a hand in the play of the ball, and what they have done is they've allowed Great Britain off the hook a bit, but Great Britain have made a mess of that kick. And Jones picks it up, 12 out from the line, so they were very quick to try and take the kick, and it didn't come off. They couldn't find touch. There's a hand in there, yeah, from Sideru, but New Zealand have it.
Well, a real let-off there for New Zealand on that penalty. Sideru giving away a bad penalty, but really Great Britain are playing so well, they're defending well, and they're scrambling in defence.
Tony Iro on the bench, and Logan Swan on.
What a moment for Logan Swan. 20 years of age, making his debut territory. 53 for New Zealand. 47 to Great Britain, but they have the lead on the scoreboard. Possession, nothing much in that statistic. The kick goes in from the New Zealanders. And cleaning up back there is Sullivan.
Yeah, that's a great kick in there for New Zealand. They've forced Great Britain right back in their own half. That's the worst position for the big front rows to run back and then work the ball out from.
Bradlinski. Now this is the freshman, Senior, taken by Wiki. Also Timu.
With 23 minutes in the match left to go, a very crucial decision by Frank Endicott to bring on Logan Swan and see how he handles it at this stage of the game.
Good strong run and good work by O'Connor to keep the ball alive. Cunningham plays it a metre inside New Zealand territory. Final tackle coming up, and Goulding looking for the touchline again and finding it. 22 metres out from the New Zealand line.
Bobby Goulding, he just complained to the referee there. He's actually got a bit of a late knock after he kicked the ball. He'll be doing everything he can to try and upset the Kiwis. As we have a look at their bench there, Mark Ellis, I think he's one player who should be injected into this game.
So again, it's New Zealand inside their own 20. Matthew Ridge. Jones waiting for it at dummy half. Here's the new man, the young man, Logan Swan. Played for the New Zealand 13 on Tuesday against the Great Britain Lions midweek team. Blackmore taking a bit of stopping over on the far side. Now it's Namu. Jones, long ball to Ridge. Ridge to Timu. Timu, angled run on the inside. He's got players with him. John Timu, Stacey Jones. What a tackle. Chris Radlinski and Jones tried to get up, look for the quick play of the ball. There's a penalty to New Zealand, holding down in the tackle. Right in front of the post. A gift 2 points for Matthew Ridge.
Yeah, Stacey Jones there backing up well. Now he went, well, there was a knock on, but he was held down trying to play it. He looked for the quick tap, but Billy stopped him.
Well, Matthew Ridge has had a look over to the sideline, and he's got the call from the sideline to take the 2 points. Interesting decision.
On the CRC replay, great run, Timu.
Yeah, it all started from John Timu. He looked inside, he had the players backing him up. Out wide, they're just starting to catch Great Britain, because Great Britain are playing a real compressed defence, so there are gaps out wide.
That looked to be a knock-on to me.
But he was trying to get up to play the ball, looking for that quick play of the ball.
Ridge puts it down the middle, so they have another 2 points. It's an 8-point ball game now. Great Britain 12, New Zealand 4. Real crunch time in this match now. New Zealand really need to be the next side to score. Certainly not out of their reach at this stage. Who will finish the strongest? The $6 million question at Ericsson Stadium tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be here to watch it, and we'll keep you tuned. It's a great game. What a finish. Kiwis are coming on strong.
Sets of 6. New Zealand have completed 15, the Lions 17. And a very professional performance by the Lions tonight. They've done their homework, no doubt about it.
And their defence is like, I think, maybe their coach has been watching Manly, because Manly, in that final, the Optus Cup were very, very strong. I think Great Britain have modelled themselves off them, because it's very, very hard to break, isn't it?
Goulding came off Logan Swan. Picked up by Great Britain. Sculthorpe with the kick ahead. The chase is on. Barnett being towed through by Goulding and into touch in goal, so we'll have a restart. Back on the 20-metre mark. 12 points to 4.
Yeah, let's have a look here on the CRC replay. I just wonder whether that player was taken out, not by Matthew Ridge, but by someone else in the New Zealand camp.
So the first tackle, now the second for the New Zealanders. Short ball inside to Vangana. So Vangana toured Great Britain with the junior Kiwis 3 years ago as the senior Kiwis were dealt that 3-0 loss in the series by the Lions. Now it's Kearney, 5 metres inside the Lions territory. Jones, having a run on his own, Stacey Jones. Now he leaks up, but it's been touched by Great Britain. The tackle count starts again, and Swan will play it. 35 metres out, Ridge at dummy half. Now it's Pongia, back from the blood bin. Vangana, Big Joe takes them on. Can't penetrate the defence though. O'Connor and Betts were there. Namu, 10 out. The crowd getting behind the Kiwis now. Kearney looked on the inside. There was nobody there. Jones. Namu trying to step his way through. Again, it's Blackmore being smothered by Powell, but he kept the ball alive. And Jones gets it out the back door. Now it's Pongia. They're going backwards. Who's going to penetrate? Wiki is smothered in there by Keith Senior. Final tackle coming up. Namu kicking in behind the line. Alan Hunt is back there covering it, and it's into touch. Alan Hunt got there first. It'll be a restart from the goal mouth.
Well, I just wonder how long Great Britain can hold out here. Tremendous effort in defence by the Great Britain side. So much pressure being put on by the Kiwis. Let's have a look here, though. And they're just not getting there, so New Zealand get another crack at it.
12-4. Bobby Goulding. The drop kick from between the sticks. The Kiwis are allowed to bounce. And Pongia eventually cleans it up. Takes the tackle 35 metres out from the line. Now it is Swan. On debut. Eru waiting for it. Vangana. Good field position for the Kiwis now. Namu looking for the runners. Ridge is up from fullback. Matthew Ridge through the gap. Into touch. Oh, so close, but desperation from the Great Britain line. The defensive line, it was Chris Radlinski that got across as Ridge was heading for the try line.
Wow, great defence from Great Britain. They just never say die, this Great Britain side. Matthew looked like a certain try. Oh.
So Bobby Goulding will get the feed into the scrum. Referee has called time off. Waiting to send someone to the blood bin, and I think it will be Joe Vangana. So 8 points the difference here as we wait for the play to return from the blood bin. Ruben Wiki driving Andy Farrell back in the tackle. Now this is O'Connor. Gord Benton, O'Connor, the two Great Britain props. Well, they came to New Zealand without any reputations down here, but they've been in good form tonight.
And they're certainly getting reputations. They're playing well. They're just both taking the ball off hard, getting in behind the rucks. And the thing is, they're working well together.
Goulding kicking for touch again. Well, he's been into touch finders all night. I guess it's one way of slowing things down a bit. They have the advantage by 8. And the tackles, oh, Great Britain have had to make 248 compared to New Zealand's 236. As Logan Swan comes off after getting his first taste of international football. Reserve grade to New Zealand, 13 to internationals. What a year it's been for him. Now it's Stacey Jones. Mark Ellis at dummy half looking for his first touch.
And Tony Ero going on there for Logan Swan.
And of course, Bobby Goulding would be putting those little kicks in because he just knows how tired his forwards must be out there. They've worked hard, so every time he puts it in, he gets a chance to get, for all them to get a breath, and he can just give them a few more instructions.
Ridge looked like he had a gap to run through, but Harris got him in the end. Now it's Tony Oro. He's had a breather on the bench. Short pass to Hoppy. Hoppy! Good step by the winger. That's the sort of stuff New Zealand needed. Someone to go forward. Penalty to New Zealand. Well within kicking range, and he's been given 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Well,
he's got number 17, and that's Adrian Morley.
If he's been given 10 minutes in the sin bin, I'd be taking the tap kick. I just wonder what Matthew Ridge will do, but 13 on 12 at this stage of the game. Take the tap.
The line's down to 12 men, and that is Grant Young. He's only 5 metres out. 12 points to 4. The Lions lead. Now it's Pongia. Quentin Pongia getting close to the line. Eru puts the head down. No way through. Namu. They're a little flat-footed. They go wide. The pass really didn't go the way they planned, but Timu still finishes it. He's done it. What a ball game we have now. Johnny Timu gets the try for New Zealand. It's the Lions leading by 12 points to 8. The kick to come.
Yes, good spotting by Gene Namu there. He was on the outside. He called to Timu now. A beautiful face pass. Great Britain defence moved up too quick and left the gap open for John Timu, who saw it, went over for a good try. That's put New Zealand right back in this game. There's the pass from Namu. The defence just come up too quick. Still a little bit of work to do. He's got a great little step though, John Timu, and very quick off the mark.
Yeah, it was a good break here from Sean Hoppy. Tony Oro turns the ball inside. Sean Hoppy collects it, puts a foot on the pedal. There he goes, through the gap, stays alive, busting. Great run from Sean to set it up. And, of course, a play. Adrian Worley coming over the top, holding on too long.
Yes, and I think you can say that really he set up the try there. Sean Hoppy, he's come and got involved in the game, and it's just helping the big forwards out. And what about the reaction from John Timu?
Third try in test matches for Timu after he made his debut last year. It's only his 5th test match. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldog, former All Black. Doesn't miss many from there. It's another successful kick for Ridge. 2 points in it now. It is Great Britain leading by 12 points to 10.
Well, I think New Zealand have been very strong.
Now it is the Lions. Been impressive so far, and Broadbent takes the tackle. Can they go on with it down the tourist?
Well, it's going to be hard for them with 12 men out there. They've used up a lot of petrol. They've had to defend. They've scrambled well in defence. New Zealand have broken their line quite a few times, and they've scrambled well. They've all got back and regrouped. But New Zealand look very, very strong. They look as though they're fizzing. You're right down there on the sideline, Dwayne.
Yes, mate, surely as the crowd is starting to come alive with hopes the Kiwis are getting themselves on top of this game.
Now it's Betts. Tackled on the halfway mark. Barnett, 20 out from his own line. Line breaks. New Zealand 10. Great Britain 4. They need another one now to try and clinch this one. Pongia. The Lions defence digging deep now. Kearney. At the end of the match, we'll have our CRC New Zealand man of the match.
Richie Barnett has left the field.
Here we go with Ruben Wiki. Wiki backing himself, standing. He's about 11 metres out. Namu, out it goes to Ridge. They need to move it out wide. Ellis stepping. Mike Ellis couldn't get past Redlinski. Now it's Jones to Ridge stepping. Ridge trying to get across out the back door. Iro, they keep it alive. Now it's Young. Namu, Timu, John Timu. He's done it. What a try, New Zealand. They have hit the front. 14 points to 12. The game of rugby league is all about keeping the ball alive. That's what they did.
Yes, they did that, and it's about going for 80 minutes. Matthew Ridge has had a great game out there. He's been talking non-stop. He's been telling his players not to give up. And look at this, they kept the ball alive. Well, John Timu out wide. Had a lot of work to do. So evasive, isn't he? So fast. And that was a great try. All set up from the forward zone down earlier on. They've played well, and they've played for 80 minutes. Can they get away with this one? It's always easy when you're on 12 men. Look at the reaction from John. He knows he might have won it for the Kiwis.
Well, the whole move started some 80 metres back and has continued on. Alan Hunt just getting left all over the place. Great try.
Look at that reaction. Timu gets a double. New Zealand look like they might get a victory to go to Palmerston North. 1-0 up in the 3-test series. Well, real disappointment for the Great Britain Lions. No doubt about it, they started as underdogs here. They did their homework and caused some real problems for New Zealand, and while the match isn't over yet, it appears they may have failed to go the distance. Now just 2 points behind Des White as the greatest point-scoring machine for New Zealand in Test matches.
This is going to be an exciting 3 minutes. What New Zealand have to do, though, is give away silly penalties. Don't try and hold them down too long.
No, they can't afford to have a player off to equal up the sides to 12 each, but that St Vincent offence by the Poms will certainly cost them.
Now it's Goulding. Farrell standing wide, the long pass and a good one out to Senior. Senior brings it back inside to Hunt. Hunt across field. There's no way through there for the St Helens Flyer. 5 from halfway. The kick and chase by Harris. Who gets the bounce? Oh, nobody. It's been kept on the toe by Radlinski. Now he has it. Now he links up with Farrell. Farrell throws it into the arms of a waiting New Zealander. To the roar of the crowd.
There's that G. Namu waiting there.
Namu will take plenty of time getting to his feet to play this one.
And this is where you'll see a little bit of acting. This is where the acting lessons come in from all these players.
Meanwhile, Quentin Tongia is on his way to the blood bin. Richie Barnett is still off the field. 15 goes on. Joe Vungen, quite a bit of traffic down there, Brendan.
Yeah, it's a bit like Piccadilly Circus here at the moment, but some very long faces, I can tell you, on that Great Britain bench at the moment. I think they know they've thrown this one.
Oh, we see Quentin Tongia there. He's had a fine game in the forwards.
Stephen Kearney, another fine game as well, full of running, the Warrior.
The Great Britain side have had a tremendous game out there. They've really played well. Just a little bit of class that New Zealand had in the end.
Well, if this doesn't excite the New Zealand sporting public, nothing will. We're heading to Palmerston North next Friday for the second test.
Yes.
What a cracker that's going to be.
Yes, come on down there because it will be fantastic. How fired up will the British Lions be next week?
Remember, the Kiwis haven't won a series since '94, and there's one more point. The drop goal from Matthew Ridge. He now equals Des White as the greatest point scorer for New Zealand. 132 points in test matches for Matthew Ridge.
Yes, what a comeback from the Kiwis. And this man here, he's led well all day, Matthew. And he just pulled that one out.
Yeah, what can't he do? New Zealand flags are flying. The referee has signalled timeout. Just waiting for Ridge with the restart. The Des White record has been standing for many years. It's taken Matthew Ridge to equal that fine record. Des White, one of the great fullbacks, of course, in the New Zealand jersey. 3 decades ago. Now it's Ridge. He'll take the tackle. 17 points to 12. Hoppy. This could be the last tackle in the first test. It is all over at Ericsson. The Lions couldn't hold on. They led 10 points to 2 at half-time. But the Kiwis, with 2 tries to Johnny Timu in the second half, bridged the gap and overtook them. Jubilation for New Zealand. Matthew Ridge, the captain, will be delighted with that effort. Timu got a double. What a comeback by New Zealand. They look to be down and out, but they go into the second test, leading the 3-test series 1-love. And at full time here at Ericsson, it is New Zealand 17, Great Britain 12. We'll be back with more from Ericsson right after the break. It's great to have you with us on 2 Sports Action. 17 points to 12. The New Zealand Kiwis trailed for all of the second half until this moment here. John Timu, his double tonight in the test match, and isn't he delighted to put New Zealand in front? And of course they held on to win the first test by 5 points. They are delighted, and why not? A good one to get behind you.
It was a very tough contest out there. Up in the forwards, they were taking it to each other. But, you know, full credit to the New Zealand side. They hung in there. Obviously, the turning point was when Great Britain lost that player in the sin bin for those 10 minutes, because Great Britain, their defence was very strong. They suffered, but New Zealand were very patient. They hung in there, and it just showed what a great side the Kiwis are.
So they lead by 1-0 in the 3-test series. Let's get some reaction now from the two captains, starting with the New Zealand skipper.
Well, congratulations to Matthew Ridge. That was one of the great escape acts. I mean, it seemed to take so long to get through there tonight.
Yeah, it was a real tough game. Certainly a lot different from the PNG game. Thought we started off reasonably well. First 20 minutes was good. And we probably lost our way in the second 20, and they got a jump on us. But you know, to the boys, they tried hard in the second half and kept plugging away and plugging away. And we started making some breaks and fortunately got up some tries.
I mean, you must have felt at half-time conceding those first two tries against this sort of defence that it was going to be a big ask in the second half.
Yeah, but I think, you know, they had a lot of field position on us and we were turning the ball over sort of on our halfway and giving them a lot of opportunities. And, you know, we just talked about getting some field position and backing up our players and support play and that sort of thing. And fortunately, the guys stuck to the plan and we got away with it.
And I think Matthew Ridge certainly had a big hand to play out there in that New Zealand victory, equaling Des White's record for the most number of test points. And that's a fine achievement by Matthew. He should pass that one next week. Well, if he was happy, his counterpart wasn't. Here he is with Brendan Telfer.
Well, commiserations, Andy Farrell. I mean, you must be the most disappointed man here at Ericsson Stadium tonight. You seem to do everything so right, so professionally, for so much in the match.
Yeah, we did. We stuck at the job what we set out to do in the first place, and you know, but New Zealand stuck at it for 80 minutes, and you know, they played out at the end and deserved the win.
Your fortunes seemed to go downhill at the time that you lost Adrian Morley. Do you think the fact that you had a player sin bin was the crucial moment in the match?
Oh, most definitely at that stage of the match. I mean, everybody's tired anyway, and to lose a man at that stage of the match, it's you know, it's a devastating blow for the team. But I'm proud of our lads. We stuck it at the job. We fought hard, and you know, this is a 3-match test series, and we've lost one of them, so we know what we're up against now, and we'll be ready for the next two.
You must have felt pretty confident coming back onto the field here after half-time, after 2 first-half tries, and you seem to have the match pretty much under control now.
We was, yeah. I mean, as I said, we stuck at our game plan, and that's all we needed to do in the second half. And no excuses. Maybe playing with 12 men in the end did have something to do with it, but New Zealand played very well. They stuck at it for 80 minutes and won the match.
Yes, a hard night for Andy Farrell, who really handles the captaincy very well despite only being 21. But really in the second half, it was New Zealand that finished the strongest. Let's have a look at those 2 tries by Johnny Timu. What a second half he had.
Yes, it was great work. All led, you know, they were 80-metre tries, but, you know, he had a lot of work to do, John Timu here. They weren't just easy tries. He's got a beautiful step. He's very evasive, and he's just so quick off the mark, and he gets excited too, doesn't he, after it. But as I said, he had a bit of work to do on both of them, and that man there, Matthew Ridge, he had a tremendous game. You could see he was just talking out there all day, getting his forwards going. The good thing about the New Zealand side is they love to keep the ball alive. Frank Endicott did a great job with them. And of course, when you've got players like this on the outside of good forward pack, you're always going to score good tries.
And Brent, isn't it nice to see a reaction like that? But isn't it also great to see a New Zealand side really sticking to their guns?
Well, they did. They stuck to their guns. They were very patient. You know, in years gone by, you'd probably see teams give up with 15 minutes to go, being down by 8 points. But they really stuck to their guns out there, and that shows a good side. They don't stop talking. That's led by Matthew Ridge, their captain. He's from the back. He's always talking. You know, and he's a tremendous captain. And you know, although I thought John Timu had a great game, Matthew Ridge had a great game as well.
All right. Well, don't give too much away because we still have to name our CRC man of the match. Who will it be? Will it be Timu? Will it be Ridge? Will it be one of those hard-working forwards? Stay with us on 2 Sports Action. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and give $500 away from CRC and our man of the match. Well, the magical moment for Matthew Ridge on 2 Sports Action tonight. There's the drop goal that extended the lead to 5 points, but more importantly for Matthew, I guess, he has now equalled Des White's record as the leading point scorer in the history of Kiwi League. Not a bad effort for a 28-year-old.
A great effort from Matthew. 28. Now, that's the big key. He's only 28, so he's going to play a lot more tests. Now, Des White's played 21 tests. Matthew Ridge has played 20. So Matthew will break that record and will hold it for a long time.
I guess we should mention that Des White, when he played, of course, the tries were only worth 3 points, but still a significant milestone for Matthew there tonight, and we'll have more points from him. And I guess we'll have plenty of smiles from Frank Endicott. He is the Kiwi coach that won tonight. He's with Brendan Telfer.
Well, here he is, the happiest man in Auckland right now, Frank Endicott. Frank, this would have to be, what, your finest hour as a coach?
Oh, certainly one of them, Brendan. It was a great escape, wasn't it? I mean, we just hung in there and got them in the end.
How was your blood pressure after 70 minutes tonight?
Not very good, I can assure you. There was a few words going up there in the box, and you know, we just spoke about it at half-time. We thought if we could get better field position and just get them down in that 30-metre zone, we had a chance, you know. I always believed we could win the test match, and so did the players, and they went out there. The good thing is that they did not panic. They showed plenty of patience.
I know it's easy to be wise in hindsight, but clearly the fact that they lost that player into the sin bin was a turning point in the match.
Well, it always is. I mean, it's discipline. I mean, as soon as I saw that happen, I thought there's a chance he's going to go off here, and it really helped us. But, you know, that can act in reverse too, so you've just got to take your chances when you can.
So you weren't frustrated there, the fact that there didn't seem to be any way through this British defence for so long?
Well, it was a good, you know, it was a good defence they put on us, and, you know, I thought they played great, but there wasn't too many holes out there, and I just thought the referee tonight played a very short 10, and we just had to adapt, stand deeper, more depth, and give ourselves a bit more space, and it just didn't suit our game.
Well, of course, I suppose by winning this match, you put yourself under even more pressure now. Everyone says, well, you've won the first test, you should win the series.
Oh, it's easy enough said, but, you know, we've been trapped like this before over the years, and to win the series is going to be great, but we don't want to go to Christchurch 1-1. We'd like to do it next week, but every test is going to be a tight one like this, I can assure you.
Yes, and we look forward to the second test, and we look forward to more smiles from Frank Endicott. We can't give him our CRC $500 Man of the Match award. It goes to one of his players. Let's find out who it is.
CRC Man of the Match.
Well, who would you make CRC Man of the Match tonight? All 17 Kiwis out there had great games, but I don't think there's much doubt in the end that this man alongside of me fully deserves this cheque for $500 from CRC, John Timu. Congratulations, John. A truly marvellous performance. It seemed every time you got the ball out there tonight, something was on for you.
Yeah, I was fortunate, you know. Throughout the week we've been training to try and get the ball through to the centres, and fortunately tonight we got plenty of ball, so it was good.
Tell us briefly about those 2 tries tonight.
I can't really remember them, but, you know, it's sort of like plenty of work from the forwards, and sort of seemed to be hanging around out on the edge there, and you know, the second try was probably a wee bit more emotional than the first, but it's good to see the boys coming away with the win.
Yes, you looked in heaven when you scored that second try.
Yeah, I certainly was. You know, proud for myself and proud for the rest of the guys, because they put a lot of effort into the tour to date, and you know, hopefully we can finish off with 2 more wins. Looking forward to Palmerston North, I guess, now. Yeah, certainly. You know, it's good to get the first test under our belt. You know, but we'll be looking to sew up the series down in Palmerston North. But it's going to be, if not the same, it's going to be a lot harder than tonight.
Thank you, John.
Thanks very much, and thanks to CRC. Cheers.
Yes, congratulations to John Timu. Of course, the British Lions now have an opportunity to regroup, and they have another midweek game before they head to Palmerston North next Friday night for the second test. They will be in Whangarei at Low Walker Park, and that is next Tuesday night when they take on the New Zealand Maori, led by Tawara Nikau. And don't forget, on Friday next, we'll be at Palmerston North for the second test, and it is a 7:30 kickoff. We have the action for you from 8:30. Don't forget the third test then at Lancaster Park in Christchurch, and that is also at 8:30 time on TV2. Well, Brent Todd, I guess we should get a final word from sideline Sam tonight. Dwayne Mann, who was jumping around like a buck rabbit down there when Johnny Timu scored that try. A good way to finish, and we can look forward now to Palmerston North.
Yeah, we certainly can. The Lions had the best of that game for 60 minutes, and they stayed in it. Let's see the rest of the remainder of the two games, and I'm sure, like I said at the start of the game tonight, that the Kiwis would win the series.
All right, a confident prediction to end on there by Dwayne Mann. You're going for Kiwis to go all the way?
Of course I am. I always knew they were going to come back. And when you were the one who went the other way, I knew the Kiwis would win. They'll win in Palmerston. Actually, I think it's going to be a whitewash.
I said the Kiwis by 10. They won by 5. We'll argue about this later on. Thanks for being with us tonight on 2 Sports Action from all the team. It is good night from Ericsson Stadium.